It's time. Now, some of us celebrate Christmas, some of us celebrate Hanukkah, and some of us celebrate Kwanzaa, I think. Before unemployed people today, we are celebrating Spotify Rap Day. And since I'm like the Spotify Rap guy, I have to say this year's Spotify Rap was alright. It was alright. It was objectively better than last year, but it still feels kind of mid. You know what I'm saying? I felt this emptiness inside of me when I was scrolling through my own Spotify Wrapped. So Spotify, I think we need to break up. It's not you, it's me. This is not working out. But first, let's go through the good things that Spotify implemented, and there were a lot of stuff. I think it's very clear that Spotify must have felt the backlash that they had from last year, because they did do a lot of changes that was highly requested by a lot of users. I think Spotify has identified their most vocal user base, which is music nerds, and these changes made these music nerds happy. Let me give you an example. They've now dedicated entire sections to top albums, which is a really good idea. For years, people that are most excited for Spotify Wrapped are music fans, and those are the type of people to want to listen to albums front to back. So Spotify giving you your top 5 albums would really strike a chord with these people. Strike a chord with me, at least. So when I see these array of albums, I get hit with nostalgia and dopamine over the different life stages I was going through when listening to these albums front to back. Charm was when I was walking around my house. The Alexander Technique when I'm walking at night. And the new Abnormal when I'm walking to the train. Lots of walking in my life, actually. Just walking. I'm just always walking. And also, I lay down my life for you when I'm laying down. And what is this? Is that my album called Serial Fumbler by This Is Grant, out on all platforms? What? You should go listen to it. And in your top songs playlist, they also add how many listens to you have on each song, which is a very highly requested feature that a lot of music nerds are curious about. This finally answers the question that a lot of people had for many years, which is how many times do I have to play this song in order to make it to my Spotify Wrapped? And for me, the answer was like 15. I don't listen to music, turns out. I hate music. The second thing that is super cool is the animation of each artist raising to be my top listener. I think that is by far the coolest thing Spotify has ever done in all the years of Wrapped. And the coolest thing about it is it does seem to line up chronologically with your listening habits. For example, I shot up all the way to 3rd place in October because that's when my album released, and I needed to listen to my own album to make sure I didn't accidentally upload, I don't know, poop.mp3 instead of my actual song. Look at Rex Orange County and Claro fighting for my love and affection. Oh, so cute, man. I love it. In fact, the Lord Claro did not catch up at the end because I was not okay with her being my top artist again for the 2nd year in a row. Like, I love Claro, but like, that's too performative, dude. This chair used to have a back right here, like this, but it exploded. The chair exploded, and now I can't lean back because the chair exploded. The last thing that they did good was the AI was obviously a lot better. For example, look at the reports, right? This was made with AI, but a good thing about this one is that it doesn't feel like it's made by AI. Sure, I can look into the text and I realize it's made by AI. Look at the M dashes. But the title, for example, The Day You Built a Loop Out of Longing and Lullabies. Wow, that is so much more human sounding than Pink Pilates Princess Roller Skating Pop. I love it. I think the reason why this has improved a lot is because AI has improved so much in the past year. So I think Spotify just realized they could just let AI cook. It could write better than some people I know. Trust me. So yeah, thanks AI. Now an African village doesn't have water for 3 days. So those are all the good things. But there are still some... I'm thirsty. So those are all the good things. But there are still some things that Spotify could have improved on. I'm going to start with the smallest problems I have that are honestly quite nitpicky and more like my personal preference. And I'm going to build to the biggest the biggest problem. Why did I stutter there? I don't want my top songs on my Spotify Wrapped to be by the same artist over and over again. Now, I know this is a personal preference, and most people do want accuracy. Brother, I listen to the music. I should take responsibility. But I do think by limiting one artist per song in your top 5 songs in this section, Spotify actually aligns their values with people that share their Spotify Wrapped more. Because when you share your Spotify Wrapped, you want people to look at it and go like, wow, that's amazing. What a diverse amount of songs you listen to. You listen to Claro and the Beatles at the same time? Marry me. Kiss me. Let's make babies together. Let's start a family. But how am I supposed to show all the amazing songs I want to recommend when my top songs is literally just an artist page? Look at my top 3 right now. Do you see anything in common? Juna is by Claro. Sophia is by Claro. Bambi is by Hippocampus. It's just a coincidence that these 2 songs have the same title. But how are people supposed to know? Now they think all my top 3 songs is Claro. No. Alright, this next criticism is even more nitpicky and even more niche. Because I want to stop being in my own Wrapped. I wish there was a way to link my Spotify account with my Spotify artist page so I could tell Spotify that when I'm listening to my own music, I am not enjoying it. I am analyzing. All I'm trying to say is, take out this guy, remove him. Okay, let's get to the meat of the criticism. I actually think all the personalized stuff in this year's Wrapped was mid. So the first one we got was like, listening age. I actually don't care. I don't think Spotify understands that music transcends time. Like, I got friends bumping to Bad Bunny and the Beach Boys in the same playlist, back to back. So, to me, it doesn't really matter. Alright, so you're telling me I'm 79 years old because I like 60s music. Cool. I already knew that. I don't care. Show me a picture of turquoise and tell me that's my audio aura. That's what I want. Then they move on and they say, oh, look at this club you're in. I'm in Cloud State Society. Oh, 16% of listeners are in my club? What? What am I supposed to do with that information? You've invented a club, then designated me in it, and said 16% of people are in it. I never heard of this club in my life. Hey, if you're watching this video on a Thursday, you're now in this club that I invented called the Chinese Club. You're Chinese now. Am I supposed to go to my friends and ask them each, oh, what Spotify rap club are you? Am I supposed to make group chats based on this? Am I supposed to organize hangouts? This is literally just Spotify looking at your top genre and your artists and just saying, here's everyone else that is in your genre. I don't care. I will now talk about the files again. When I asked to release the files, I did not mean these files. The grant files got dropped before the Epstein ones. Wow. I think the concept is a really cool idea, but I think it just didn't do it for me in execution. Basically, the rap tells you, oh, on this date, you were listening to this kind of music a lot. Isn't that pretty cool? Spotify is running the risk of two things. Number one, the date being 9/11. What are you doing listening to music on September 11th? What are your intentions? Second potential risk is that date could potentially be the worst day of your life. Hey, remember November 6th when you wanted to end it all? Daniel Caesar, huh? Could have been the last thing you've ever listened to. Wow. So while I think the concept is good, in execution, Spotify has to balance on this very thin tightrope where the dates cannot be too personal or else it'll give you bad memories, or it can't be some random dates and it doesn't like do anything for you. And for me, it was more the latter because I checked the dates on my calendar and I see what I was doing that day and it was nothing interesting. I didn't do anything. Maybe other people have more interesting lives than me, but yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know why I started my day off on March 15th listening to Pitbull.
Damn, girl, is you from the ghetto? Because I'm trying to get a piece of that culo. Ha! Dale, esa jevita tiene tremendo culo.
Seems like an emotional roller coaster that day, but I didn't do anything. But the $1 million question is, if Spotify Wrapped is better than last year, then why does it still feel bad? And I think the reason really is Spotify is a bad company. And what I mean by that, they're like Supercell with Clash Royale. I love Clash Royale. I will play the game forever for the rest of my life. But you know, Supercell is an evil company when they drop level 16 with the most game-breaking mechanics on the heroes and the most broken evils until they nerf it to the ground. And that's the same with Spotify. I love the service. I love the music. But the company is a music streaming industry giant and they have a chokehold on it. There is no competition. Do not share me your Apple Music Wrapped or something. You're not part of the gang. So these days, it's so apparent that Spotify is such a big and powerful company that it no longer seems like it's made out of love. It's just trying to keep us users happy and blind to the fact that music streaming doesn't have to be so lopsided in their favor and so predatory. It's unfair against artists who gets paid pennies per stream, and it's also unfair towards consumers as they increase their monthly price yet again. But they can do that because they're so big and they can do whatever they want to us. I think as a whole, Gen Z has been starting to feel tired of these raps. Not only by Spotify, but by every single company that don't even need a rap. Companies are so transparently aware that they're cooking us financially these days that they try to implement some distraction with some AI slop to make us forget that the economy is screwed and AI is ruining everything. And tech companies are willing to sacrifice every single consumer to make more profit. Wow. Got a little too Marxist for a second there, but that's okay. But I swear to God, if I see another rap, Cloudflare Wrapped. What the hell?
But why can't I be any other boy who doesn't need a hand in love? Someone that I could trust, but how did I fail to give you all the love that you deserve? When your only thing that's worth what life is worth, and I don't mind if you hate me. 'Cause baby, if I were you, I would probably hate me too. I said I don't mind if you hate me. 'Cause baby, if I were you, I would probably hate me too.
Yeah.